Better late than never gaming, in and out review of Wolfenstein, The New Order. Ladies and gents, I'm gonna get right to it, not gonna beat around the bush. This game was boring. Okay, don't get me wrong. I know that's not the first thing anyone would like to hear or you would hear in the review, but I'm just being straight up. To me, it was boring. All right, and it was boring because it was so basic. It was so typical. It was the basic, typical FPS. The story was all right. Pretty much the story is about Nazis. Nazis take over the freaking world, and you got to take it back. So you were running around shooting Nazis in the knee, in the face, in the back, blowing off limbs, which looks pretty cool in some parts. But that's it. Like, that's it. For all you Wolfenstein fans out there, please forgive me if you love this game and I'm disrespecting your franchise. I don't mean to. The game is not bad. It was just boring. And again, it was boring because it was so basic. It was so basic. It was a basic first-person shooter. I don't know what else to say about that. You run around shooting people, and these people are Nazis. That's it. You go from point A to point B. There's no really, side missions. There's different playthroughs in the game, which is cool, but this game was so boring. I'm not gonna play it again. I didn't want to play through it again. The weapons in the game are okay. There's just one weapon that's the most powerful that I end up using that. Like, it was just basic, man. Especially with the first-person shooters these days, they advance in so many ways. It just didn't do anything that caught my attention or made me say, "Oh wow." Right? Oh, that's cool. That's inventive. And I guess this is an early PlayStation 4 game. I believe the PlayStation 4 was released 2013, right? November, something like that. 2013 was the PlayStation 4 came out, and this game came out 2014. I think a year later. So it's in its early cycle of the PlayStation 4 year or the PlayStation 4 era, right? So it's an early game, man. Saying that, the game, you can see where graphically it's not as polished as it could be, or as I thought it would be. Again, it came out early in the PlayStation's life cycle. So, but again, it's not ugly. It's not an ugly game by any means. It's a good looking game. It's just rough around the edges in some places you can notice, but not bad at all. Not bad at all. But back to the boring part. This is what I did for most of the time. Like, seriously, this is what I did a lot of the time. It was so, I'm trying to find another word for boring, but I'm gonna just keep using that. This is what I did for a lot of the time, and I feel like I know what they were trying to do. You're trying to add new aspects of the game, something different, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I was looking for. But I felt like this was too much, and it slowed down the gameplay. And yeah, it brought the action to a halt, and I hated doing it so many freaking times. Anyways, this is what I was doing for a lot of the time during the gameplay. Now, this game is not hard at all. I mean, there's different levels of difficulty. You got the easy level, you got the beginner's level, then you got like the extreme levels and things like that, man. So enemies come at you harder, of course, or if you put it on the easy level, enemies are easier to take down. Yada yada yada. Nothing too crazy. One gripe I do have, well, not one gripe, I have a few gripes, but one of the biggest gripes I have is the AI. The AI in this game is stupid, and I'm not looking for Metal Gear Solid type AI, right? I always mention Metal Gear in a lot of my reviews because that's just a classic franchise where I think they did the AI pretty well. And there's a lot of games that do the AI well, but the AI here is dumb as hell. It's dumb, and in some aspects they're a little overpowered, but whatever. They're just dumb. I'll show you what I mean right here.
Komm her und kämpf mit mir, du Feigling! Wer zur Hölle bist du?
Alright, now let's get back to the story. Again, the game is boring to me, right? I said that 2 million times, so you get it. Now the setup. I told you what the story's about. It's about Nazis taking over the world and you're trying to take it back from them, right? The concept is cool. The concept is interesting, but it's the execution that throws me off, right? It's not all bad. Again, I know I came off in the beginning and through this whole review in a negative sense. The game is not terrible. Again, it's just so basic, and a lot of the execution is just I'm gonna say it again, boring. Even the boss fights, you don't have that many boss fights. I think there was 3 boss fights in this game. 3 boss fights, right? And those boss fights were, well, I'll say 2.5. One of them wasn't, in my opinion, wasn't really a boss fight. Probably a mini boss. But the actual boss fights, dude. My dudes and my dudettes. Boring. There's the word again. Boring. Unchallenging. Right? It was just like, what? And I didn't even have direction on one of the bosses. Like, how do I defeat this? So I had to trial and error, which is fine. I don't want a game to hold my hand, but it wasn't fun figuring it out. It was boring as hell. And once I figured it out, I'm like, oh okay, that's it. So yeah, that threw me off too, man. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I feel so bad. I don't like talking trash in a negative way, a negative sense about things, but I just have to be honest. Again, I might be a little hard and biased because I'm not the biggest FPS fan. I don't like first-person shooters. I don't want to say I don't like them, but they're not my first choice, right? They're not my first pick when it comes to games, and if I do play a FPS, it definitely has to be something different than the typical FPS games. Right, and this is as typical as you freaking get. If you like FPS shooters, if you're a long fan of the long-running franchise, this is right up your alley, man. Like, give it a try. It just wasn't for me, right? It just wasn't for me. What else can I say about this bad boy? I'm thinking. What is there? I really don't know what else to say, so I guess I'll wrap it up. It's supposed to be an in and out review, something quick. And yeah, so that's that. So on a scale from yoga lame, yoga yup, yoga fire, yoga flame, I'm gonna give this a yoga yup. It's okay for what it is. Again, it's just too basic, too boring. It drags on a little bit, and yeah, they just needed to do more. But on the upside, there is a sequel. There is a sequel, which I do have that, but I'm a little exhausted from playing the first one, so I'm gonna hold off playing the second one. But I hope the second one improves on the story. I hope the second one improves on the shooting mechanics and give me better guns and things to do, and you know, you could take different paths and the enemies are not so stupid, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. So I'm looking forward to the second one just to see if they learned their lesson. I think they did. You know, Bethesda's a good company, so I have faith in them. I have faith in them that the second one is better. I'm hoping. But anyways, you guys have a good one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a blessed one. Peace.